Welcome to another episode of Medium Well with Psychic Sharyn Rose. We're talking angel numbers today. Do you believe in angel numbers? And what are angel numbers? And how can they help you in your daily life? Listen into this interesting topic as Sharyn tells you all about the numbers and how they can be magical if you're only paying attention. So let's get started.
And welcome back to Medium Well with Psychic Sharyn Rose. Thanks for being here. Today, I want to talk to you about angel numbers. What are angel numbers? And is there such a thing? I mean, numbers are a big part of our culture. Numbers are everywhere. We use numbers to direct us through our day time-wise. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We use numbers to add up what it is costing us economically to purchase our groceries. We use numbers to call people. We have a number that identifies our phone. We have numbers everywhere. So today I want to talk about the kind of the fringe of what numbers really mean, because a lot of people come to me and they say, Sharyn, I often see repeating numbers. And actually, the reason this is a topic today is because I've been receiving repeating numbers over and over again, like 111, 222, 555. 444, lots and lots of repeating numbers. And I'm always adding numbers up in my head when I see addresses and looking for, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? And I know a lot of other people do too. And the more you move into a spiritual basis for your life, the more you're going to be wanting to understand numbers a little bit better. So I'm going to give you some guidance today on what that looks like. So angel numbers, generally spiritual numbers are referred to as angel numbers. We see numbers everywhere. But when we see repeating numbers like 111 or 11 or C222 or whatever, what the understanding is that it's a sign from the universe that it's working on your behalf. That's the sequences. And numerology says that it's an amplification of energy. So if you put those two things together, then when you see a sequence of numbers like 111, if you know what the one represents, it means it's amplified 3 times from just being 1. It's now 111. And numerology says it's amplified in energy, but that the universe is also working on your behalf. So numbers are extremely relevant in spiritual work. So what I want to do is there's a ton of resource information out on the internet right now around numbers. So when you notice yourself coming across repeated numbers like 111, 555, 777, virtually everywhere, if you've noticed such patterns, it may not be a coincidence. There might be a true message being directed towards you that is something you want to try and understand. And one of the things about developing your spiritual aspect, your psychic self, is paying attention to synchronicity, paying attention to patterns, paying attention to reoccurring sequences of various things. So, for example, if you're seeing butterfly, you think about, let's use an example here. You think about a butterfly, and when you think of the butterfly, you think of your mother who passed. And when you think of your mother who passed, you have a strong emotional connection to that. But throughout the rest of that day, every time you turn around, you're seeing butterflies. Even in the dead of winter, you'll see it on the page of a book. You'll see it on the television. You'll hear somebody talk about butterflies. It'll just show up over and over. And numbers are the same. So angel numbers are reoccurring sequences of numbers that have a spiritual significance according to numerology. Angelics. Now, let's go there for a minute. Angels. If you don't believe in angels, you're not going to believe in angel numbers. You're not going to believe in the magic of the synchronicity of numbers and what they could mean for you. And that means that listening to this isn't really going to do you any good. I'm just saying. But if you are interested in receiving as much guidance as you possibly can for the rest of your journey on this planet, then it behooves you to actually pay attention. Because angels speak to us in synchronistic ways. And also I want to point something else out too. Angels are not able to step into our lives and interfere with our journey without invitation. If you're really looking for some guidance from the angels, prayer really helps, or meditation really helps. Get some guidance, okay? Synchronicity basically means we're seeing something over and over and over again so that it goes beyond what we would consider mere coincidence. And I don't particularly believe in coincidence, but numbers is one of the ways that we can get messages through synchronicity with the repetition of numbers. Of course, numerology works with numbers, and I love numerology, and the Asian science of numbers works with numbers as well. They believe that through your birth date, they can identify your main personality traits, your natural reaction to stress and anxiety, and your life purpose and your life challenge. And I do a lot of work with that here in the office for my clients. Almost everybody gets their 9-star key read, and it's really fun, the Asian numbers. But we also do go into the numerological aspect of numbers as well. But right now, let's talk about just angel. Let's focus on the angel numbers. You can see that it's a huge field, right? You can see that it's a huge field of study. Seeing a repeating number is like your angel pointing to you and making you feel seen and heard. The angels are identifying that they're getting your attention, and that the numbers they send you have meanings. So think of it like a little marker, like when you look at a map to get directions, or your GPS to get directions to go somewhere. Think of it as that next corner you're going to turn. A lot of numerologists believe that angel numbers, working with angel numbers, getting to understand them and understanding the meaning, is a way to get your toes wet in spiritual practice. Angel numbers are the beginning of an understanding of spirituality with numbers, and how you can take it further if you really love it and become a full-fledged numerologist. Getting messages from the spiritual realm, it isn't reserved for psychics. We all have a spiritual team. Every person on this planet has a spiritual team around us, of angelics, of ascended masters, of our loved ones, that work and support and help us in any way that it can. And using numbers is a way to catch our attention. It's one of the ways that they work. And so people are starting to realize they're truly connected to the magic that exists all around them. And angel numbers are a gentle and loving invitation to build trust in your own spirit connection. So it's a great way to introduce you into living spiritual life. Now, there are many sequences, and ones and twos seem to come up a lot. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, numerology, repeated numbers are seen as an amplification of energy. So the more a number shows up around a person, the stronger the vibration behind it, which is influencing that person's life. So seeing a number tripled means the full potential of that energy is present. Let me give you an example just for fun. There's a lot of ways to use numbers, but I'm going to use one. And what I have in front of me here in my hand is I have Angel Numbers 101. It's a little tiny book that talks about all the numbers that we use on the planet. So it goes from 1 up to the triple 999. And it's got the meaning of each of those numbers. But what I want to share with you is, okay, let me read to you what number 1 means. Number 1 says, stay positive. Everything you're thinking about right now is coming true. So be sure that you're only thinking about what you desire. Give any fears to God and the angels. That's number 1. But let's take a look at 111. So that would be amplified out to its max, to its full potential. 111. Now remember the first message. This is the 1 amplified 3 times. This number brings you urgent messages that your thoughts are manifesting instantly. So keep your mindset focused upon your desires. Give any fearful thoughts to heaven for transmutation. So basically, everything you're thinking about in the number 1, just on its own, is coming true. Be sure you're only thinking about what you desire. So what this number is saying to you is, don't get carried away with going into negative mindset and then going back into positive and going back and forth, because that just cancels it out. Stay in your mindset, stay positive, stay true, believe in what you desire, give any of your fears to God and the angels. And then 111 says, this number brings you the urgent message that your thoughts are manifesting instantly. So keep your mindset focused upon your desires. Give any fearful thoughts to heaven for transmutation. Now, that's just working with number 1. And the reason that I'm choosing Doreen Virtue's book, Doreen is no longer in the industry I'm in right now. She's stepped away from this work, but she created something like 60 or 70 books while she was working in this field. One of them is Angel Numbers, and I absolutely love it. So that talks about 1, 1, 1, 1, and then it goes beyond that too. I mean, you can just go to 1, 1, which would be just a little difference between, but it works with every number. So there is something else that Doreen talks about in her book, and I found this fascinating. She is talking about if you see a number sequence, and you keep seeing the same number sequence. So she uses an example here that I'm going to use and share with you. She uses 219524. So 219524 could be a number sequence that you're seeing comes up all over the place all the time. And what she suggests is it better off to break it into chunks of 1, 2, or 3 digits. So in this case, your sequence would be 219 and 524. So what she's suggesting is first look up the first 3 digits, 219, And this book has the combination of all potential combinations. So it has like 418, 325, any combination of numbers up to three digits. So the 219 says your thoughts and focus are focused on career and your purpose right now. Optimism brings the reward you seek, so stay positive. So then you would look up the second set of three digits, 524. Angels and archangels are watching over your new projects and helping you transform your ideas and dreams into reality. You know, you can see that there's a definite connection between those two different sets of numbers. And then you blend the meaning of both of those three-digit sequences together. Your thoughts are focused on career and your purpose right now. Optimism brings the rewards you seek, so stay positive. Angels and archangels are watching over your new projects and helping you transform your ideas and dreams into reality. You can see where it's being powerfully impacted by the impact of the angels. And the more positive and optimistic you are, the better everything goes for you and everything in your life. Now, I can't help it. Working in spirituality, if you're going to be in a negative mindset and you're going to be a Debbie Downer, sorry, Debbie's out there, you're not going to have a good day, and you're not in a spiritual mindset. You're in ego. A spiritual mindset works from the place of joy and passion and enthusiasm and optimism, hopefulness, contentment. Those are the vibrations that you want to have behind what you do on a daily basis and on a minute basis as well. So when it comes to numbers, you really, now in my particular case, the numbers I've been seeing, I've been doing a lot of work. I've been wanting to get my Kitchen Witchin' program back up and running for February. And now I'm in November of 2022, and it's going to start up again February of 2023. But I was working to try and get that done, and now it's all ready to go. And we've got all the numbers in place, everything we needed to do. We're looking at changing the name of this podcast, as you might know if you've listened to episode 61. Episode 61 is suggesting that if you can come up with a new name for the podcast, that we will, and we use it, that we will give you a free reading. And we've got a new identity coming up as well. We're changing the image of the podcast. So there's a lot of change and whatnot going on. And I've had 222 and 444 and whatnot show up. And so 444 shows up a lot for me. And so I'm going to read to you what 444 means, and you'll see how it actually connects to what I'm actually doing right now. There are angels. They're everywhere around you. You're completely loved, supported, and guided by many heavenly beings, and you have nothing to fear. Of course, when you're building any kind of business development, doing any kind of business, you're kind of worried, is this going to work? Is this going to be a functional? Is it going to work out? And so this is a really great message for me. I really, really like that. That's out of Doreen Virtue's book. Now, if you go online and you Google angel numbers, you'll also be able to get all kinds of meanings of all the different numbers. But I like the way that she combined the 6 digits that were all different digits. I really like that. I thought that was really kind of cool. And it gives people a new way, instead of always having to have the numbers synchronistic, that sometimes they're random numbers. Sometimes they're just a series of numbers that you're coming across. Okay. So things like, here's more meaning. Here's more meaning to the 444. If you're navigating a challenge and have been trying to get guidance from your spirit guide or signs from the universe, which I was looking for, noticing the number 4 all around you can serve as evidence that you're being heard. Okay. So when I'm out there and I'm asking for certain things to be delivered to me, I'm asking for me to receive certain things that I would like to do to move forward with my business, I'm being heard. It says your angels are guiding you, surrounding you, and answering your prayers of protection. In fact, the angel number 444 is basically a spiritual hug from your ancestors as well, in good times and bad. And for me, that means a lot too, because I have many people who have recently transitioned into spirit, and I really love knowing that they're right there and they're around me and they're surrounding me and they're giving me support and they're guiding me as well. I love that. So you might want to pick up this Angel Numbers 101 book by Doreen Virtue, if you can still find it. Now, a lot of her stuff is being pulled off the shelves because Doreen has threatened to sue if her stuff continues to be sold, because she has gone completely into a completely different line of study. And she doesn't work in the spiritual realm anymore and actually condemns the work that I do now. So, I mean, I'm not going to speak and judge. I'm just going to say that's the case. So if you can find the book, great. You might not be able to. But you can find a lot of reference to numbers online, a lot of different numbers. And it talks about repeating numbers. That come up a lot. Um, and how to use your intuition. So how do you decipher the meaning of angel numbers using your intuition? So here's some feedback for you. Create a quiet and still place. Okay. So just even being aware and noticing angel numbers popping up, it's the first step to working with them. And the second, of course, is deciphering the meaning of those numbers. And while looking up their meanings online can be helpful, it can't necessarily tell you the whole story. So in my particular case, I intuitively knew I was getting guidance and that I was getting help. And it just gives me joy, and it helps me persevere. When you get to that place where you're doing something and it's hard and you just don't know if you can finish it and you just feel frustrated and you just want to quit, it stops you from quitting. If you can really step into your spiritual aspect and trust that the angel numbers are working with you and they're giving you guidance. And that's exactly the way I feel about the 444s that were showing up. Now, prior to that, it was 111s and 222s. So they all lead to the same end result. So I'm really excited about this next year. And even every day, I'm just so excited. So even though a Google search can give you a jumping off point, it won't tell you what those numbers specifically mean for you. You have to use your intuition. So to tap into your intuitive power, just figure out what the angel numbers mean, get quiet, ask yourself what the numbers mean to you specifically, and then listening for the answers. You can do this through meditation, or you can do a mindful practice of another kind. It doesn't matter. You can use prayer. That works. Now, our intuitive gifts are not a one-way street where all we do is interpret symbols we're given. Psychics, of course, are always interpreting and receiving. But you can meditate on questions or challenges. You can ask for specific signs and engage with your intuition in whatever way feels right for you. And then notice when the angel numbers show up. That's another thing, too, is timing, right? Notice when the numbers show up. We call them angel numbers, of course, because they signify you're being helped and to follow the impulses of the path that you're on. Many are tied to a specific state or energy that's available to you in that moment. Timing is of no coincidence. And the next is pay attention to how you feel. Take note of how you feel in your body. Did your body respond in a certain way when you saw an angel number come up? Because they don't lie, and your body doesn't lie. It may be tricky for some people if you've been disconnected from your intuition, but stick to it. It just takes practice. And cultivate more of the feeling, whether it's a flow or trust or love, faith, or something else to help bring your messages to light. So what to do when you see your angel numbers repeat? They're not just messages, but rather calls to action. So a call to action, we've talked about this before in other podcasts, but a call to action. We're spirit on this planet having a human experience. We are soul having a human experience. And so when you consider that we are soul first, prior to being human, then what we want to do is we want to implement our spirit knowledge into our human journey. But we also don't want to forget that we're on a human journey, and that when we receive some of these messages, that we want to be able to trust our intuition and our downloads. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't trust their intuition because they just don't believe it could be that easy. It may not always be a specific thing that you have to do either. It might be about changing your perception in some way or shifting your beliefs about something. You get to choose how to use these messages. So it's kind of like when I do the cards on Wednesdays on Facebook, on Sharyn Rose Psychic Coach and Medium page. When the cards go face down, you're using your intuition to select what card message you want for the next day, for that week. And then on Thursday, when I come and turn the cards up, I'm amazed how many responses I get from people. I get notes from people too. Private DMs that tell me how much of a difference that message made for them that day, but they used their intuition to select the message initially. And you do the same with this. You get to choose how to use your messages. When you see angel numbers repeat, if you don't trust your own intuition, you're going to struggle. So just keep at it. Practice, practice, practice. And so how to ask for angel numbers as a sign, you can do that too. You are the sole interpreter of the messages delivered by angel numbers. And you can also petition the universe to see angel numbers as a sign. Decide what your sign will be, in this case, a repeat sequence of angel numbers, and specify when you'd like to receive the sign and then wait for it to show up. It's that easy. It is that easy. We want to complicate things so much. We want things to be so hard, but it's not. So once you see angel numbers as your sign, though, it's important to act on them as soon as possible. Acting on, taking that action, a leap of faith and action together will create miracles. Okay, so don't go ahead after you do all this work and then ask for 5 more signs to confirm. Just follow your instinct. Follow your intuition, grow it, work it. I picked a card today from the Angels of Abundance, and the card is do the work. It's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that you're being divinely guided. This is exactly what I was just talking about. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. Stay at it, stay working, stay with your numbers, pay attention, look for synchronicity. Right now, it's 22:22. I'm going to call it and I'm going to quit this podcast. And thank you very much, you guys, everybody, for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Medium Well with Psychic Sharyn Rose. If you love listening to this podcast, we have one little favor to ask you. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. If you love learning from Sharyn, well, she's got a few great courses that are ongoing. Why don't you register for Kitchen Witchin'? It's on now. All you have to do for more information is go to kitchenwitchin.ca. Or if you'd like to book an appointment with Sharyn for a reading, or if you'd like to know more about Sharyn, her psychic services, coaching sessions, and more workshops, go to SharynRose.com. That's Sharyn with a Y. We'll talk to you next time.